So we are talking adhesives, but in particular the VELCRO brand adhesives. There's four main ones that we keep. There are a few variations. There's a PS19. We don't keep that. It's very, very similar to the PS15 and PS30. There are also heat or solvent activated, so there's a PC20 or a PC28. These are available to order, but more specific, you need either solvents or ultrasonics to effectively weld the adhesive to your substrate. PS47, I believe, is now finished. That was the fusion tape, the iron-on tape for fabrics. I think that's now been superseded by just a standard stick-on for adhesives. Currently, that is available as a consumer item, so not on commercial rolls. So we are talking adhesives. There's four main ones. We keep the four in stock. There is that you can tell the difference on them. The colour indicates, the colour of the tab indicates what adhesive it is. So regardless of the width of the roll you're buying, PS14 has the red tab, PS18 the dark green, PS15 the light green, and PS30 is the white. So these two, the PS15 and the PS30, are effectively the same adhesive. They're a rubber block copolymer. The PS15 is a flame retardant version, so both the tape and the adhesive are flame retardant, so that was self-extinguish once a flame is taken away. But other than that, what they stick to and how they perform is basically the same. They're a high tack adhesive, so they're really, really sticky to the touch. The PS18 is a water-based, it's an acrylic adhesive. Again, it's a high tack. This is particularly good on plastics. So if you've got a window frame that you want to stick to, or anything plastic, and in particular Foamex boards, this does very well. So quite popular in the display market. So PS18, acrylic, water-based. PS14 is the general use adhesive. It's a rubber resin adhesive. And you'll find this is the most stocked item in the broadest range of widths. So for us, it's 10mm up to 150mm wide. And you'll also find that the PS14 is the adhesive used in the consumer packs. In the UK consumer packs, I should say. US line, which we keep a few different variations of, tend to use a modified version of the PS30. And what you'll also find with PS30 is it's often used on plastic tape. So when you have a self-adhesive plastic tape, an extruded tape, often found on the low profile or ultra thin, extra thin tapes, and the velour loops, it's very, very often the PS30. It just has a better adhesion to the plastic tape itself. And it's got a broader range. People like that it's got quite a high tack as well. So PS30 is probably more commonly used than realised. So they are the four main adhesives in the VELCRO brand range. There is, of course, the heavy duty PS51, PS52. This is the adhesive on this is basically a double coated version of PS14. It's a rubber resin adhesive, but it's had two coats, so it's slightly more tacky and it performs a little bit better on sort of rough, uneven surfaces. But rubber resin, because it's a plastic hook tape, the rubber resin sort of works a little bit better outside as well. So PS51 is basically PS14 double coated. Now, there was at one time an adhesive, a self-adhesive Texacro tape, and there is a video of that where we compare PS14 to the Texacro. Texacro is now being superseded and replaced by Alphatex, which is a company that Velcro own. And this, we'll talk about this perhaps separately, but just to give you an idea, it is basically a PS14. They call it a hot melt rubber adhesive. I would say it's slightly more tacky than the PS14, but in terms of what it will stick to, they're sort of on par. And this will be replacing, or has replaced, Texacro, and will soon be branded as VELCRO Alphatex brand. So it's a slightly cheaper version of the VELCRO brands, but they're comparable. You'll get more cycle life still out of these than the Alphatex, marginally. So on the website we have sort of copied this chart. We've slimmed it down just to the adhesives that we offer. So if you go into the main self-adhesive section on the website, scroll down, we have listed the main substrates and what adhesive is best suited for it, and then you can link in. Just click on the PS and you can link in. So PS is pressure sensitive, and then the number correlates to what adhesive is on. So pressure sensitive, peel release paper and stick down. Now we get asked if you can mix and match adhesives, and yes, absolutely. If you have something where you need to stick to one side of the tape to plastic and the other to a standard wool, then you could say PS18 on the plastic and PS14 for the wool. So the tapes themselves on the adhesives are always the same. It's a woven tape. So you can mix and match whichever adhesives best suit the substrate. So you can use the PS18 hook for one and the PS30 loop for something else, for a different substrate. The only time that changes is when you are looking at the plastic tapes and the velour loops. Now, you can interchange those. You can use a low profile plastic hook with a standard woven loop. The closure isn't quite as good. The plastic tapes tend to work better on the sort of close-knit velour. So I would say yes, but with reservation. So I'd stick to woven tapes for the main adhesives and the velour and low profile hook with their adhesives. And we'll talk about plastic hook tapes in a separate video. This one was just to cover the 4 main adhesives. The PS30 and 15, like I say, they're effectively the same. They're a high tack. The PS18 is, I would say, a high tack, a medium to high, and the PS14 is a low tack. So initially, PS14 doesn't feel really sticky. That does not take away from how it performs on its substrate, but with all of the adhesives, whichever one you choose, make sure your surface is clean, apply the tape, wait for 24 hours after application before you start to use it as a fastener, before you put the two together and start taking them apart. That gives the adhesives time to cure against the product. But PS14 is not good on plastics or anything with plasticizers. So if you need something for plastics, you need to be looking at PS18 or the 2 rubber block. So there we have it. Quick video, different adhesives. We keep, like I say, PS14, we keep the most stock with the most range, 10mm up to 150mm. The others, we tend to keep 20, 25 and 50mm wide. So there we are.